We're at the Chasen residence. The living room is that of an upper-middle-class home, tastefully furnished, but with an air of understated wealth. Harold Chasen is strung up by the neck hanging from the chandelier.
Non-encore.
Hold it a minute. Hold it. Now, I know you're a French maid and you prefer to speak French, but Mrs. Chasen, I happen to know you don't speak a lick of French. But I know it's odd for me to interrupt like this, but the story's not necessarily your point of view. In the Book of Memories, we all have a point of view, all right? Yes. Okay. I'm the funeral director. I have the final word. Let's start again, from the top. Drum roll, please.
Where angels play and the good Lord watches over us. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Harold and Maude, where Harold Chasen is still strung up by the neck.
Oh, not again. You're not going to quit too, are you?
What?
You're not going to quit.
Oh, you are all crazy.
Harold, this is the 5th maid in 4 weeks. Now, Dr. Matthews, at my request, is coming here tonight to meet with you. Please take advantage of it. Talk to her, meet with her. I know that once you begin cooperating, you'll find her very helpful. Dr. Matthews, please come in.
Oh, thank you.
How have you been?
Well, I think I'm doing better than your maid, from what I can tell. Well, how about you, Helen?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
Harold, Doctor, I'd like for you to meet my son, Harold.
Oh, hello there.
Harold, this is Dr. Matthews.
I have heard a lot about you.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, now, I think you should take your things upstairs and get ready for dinner. We'll wait for you down here, but do hurry up. Oh, Doctor, I am so glad you could come. You know, it hasn't been easy since Charles's death.
I know.
The business to take care of, my house, my hospital charity, my social life. No, it has not been easy.
I know.
Not that it was any sleigh ride while Charles was alive. He could be just as trying as Harold. Well, I told you about our wedding. What other bride would wait 25 minutes at the altar while her husband-to-be was at home in the bath, thoroughly absorbed in the workings of a mechanical duck? Oh, no, it has not been easy. But what I'm worried about now is Harold. He needs you. I hope you can help him. I just don't seem to be reaching him anymore. Not that he was ever a talkative boy. Creative and intelligent, yes, but talkative, no. Well, you saw for yourself.
Oh, he seemed a little strange, as if he...
Well, he hardly says 2 words to strangers.
Yeah.
I tried to teach him the social graces. I gave him guitar and dancing lessons when he was 11, but nothing took. He seemed to not practice. He learned maybe 1 song on the guitar, and I finally just gave it to Goodwill. But
why don't I talk to him? Why don't... Didn't you mention once that he had an Uncle Victor?
he does have an Uncle Victor.
Oh, that might be an
Maybe that would be the answer.
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
he is a decorated war hero.
It's a possibility.
Maybe he can set him straight. Please talk to him, Doctor. I really am at my wit's end.
I'd be glad to. I could talk to him after dinner, and we could possibly schedule some appointments in my office.
That would be marvelous and a great load off my mind.
Of course.
Thank you, Doctor. Now, if you'll excuse me just a moment, I've got to find a new maid.
Harold is sitting on the psychiatrist's couch. The doctor is in.
Tell me, Harold, how many of these suicides have you performed?
Well, an accurate number would be difficult to gauge.
Why is that?
Well, I'm not so sure if I should count the first time, since that wasn't really planned. And then, of course, there's the time the gas oven exploded before my mother even got home from her party. And then there's those in planning stages, those that...
Oh, just give me a rough estimate.
I'd say 15.
15? Woo! And were they all for the benefit of your mother?
Benefit?
Well, were they all designed to elicit a particular response from her? For example, she told me she was reduced to hysterics the day you shot your head off with a shotgun.
Oh, yes, that went over very well. You see, it's not an easy stunt to do. Sometimes the fake charge goes off before the spring shoots out blood. Of course, that was one of the first. It was easier then. And the hanging last night took me 3 days, and I still don't even think she saw the suicide note.
What did it say?
Oh.
This is the end. Farewell.
I'm making them shorter.
Harold, what do you think about young ladies?
I like them.
Oh, any girlfriends?
No, not really.
Why not?
Well, I don't think they like me.
Oh.
In dancing school, I used to tread on their toes.
Let's talk about boarding school. Were you happy there?
Oh, yes.
Why did you leave?
Well, I burned down the chemistry building. I was then asked to take my exams via internet and then leave immediately.
So then you stayed home.
I didn't mind. I spent most of my time on the internet playing games. Hardly left the house. And the suicides.
The suicides.
Yes.
So you don't go out from the house very much.
Not much.
When you do go out, where do you go?
Junkyards and demolitions.
Junkyards and demolitions. Harold, what do you do for fun when you're not working on your suicides?
I go to funerals.
Mrs. Chasen doing what Mrs. Chasen does best at the Chasen home.
No, Betty. Lydia Ferguson. This damn cell phone keeps dropping out. Would you repeat that? Yes. I sent her to you for a blue rinse. Well, I invited Lydia's daughter, Alice, over to meet Harold. Well, she came over and we went out to the tennis courts, and what did we find but Harold floating face down in the swimming pool with a knife oozing blood stuck in the middle of his back. Well, of course the poor girl screamed and fled, just like the maid did today. Oh, he hanged himself. I have another maid coming this afternoon. Betty, what I think he needs is responsibility. He needs to settle down and get married. But where am I going to find him a bride? Certainly not in the army. A computer dating service? Oh, what an excellent idea. They guarantee at least 3 girls? Well, I'll call them immediately. What's that? Mario. Oh, well, I am sorry. You'll just have to tell him to change it till next Tuesday. I am a mother whose son needs her. I can't be held down to a pedicure. I sure hope his Uncle Victor can set him straight. After all, he was General Schwarzkopf's right-hand man. Hello, Betty? Betty, are you there?
Uncle Victor has invited Harold to meet him at the Veterans Hospital, a mainstay for recent vets and not-so-recent vets, all experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder and limited funding. Our commander-in-chief hangs in a portrait on the wall. Nathan Hale's picture hangs next to that of Mr. Bush. Uncle Victor has given his right arm in the name of peace.
It's a good life, Harold. These post-9/11 times, there's even more action, adventure, excitement. Travel the world, put on a uniform, take on a man's job. You walk tall with a glint in your eye, a spring in your step, and knowledge in your heart that you're serving your country's needs and working for peace. More Nathan Hales. Harold, I think I see a little Nathan Hale in you. You know, you could even be president.
No, thank you. I only have one life to give for my country, and that gives me hope. Now, if you'll excuse me, Uncle Victor, I have to be going, but the next time I see you, do share some more stories of the gore of war, would you, sir?
Absolutely. It's a shame I only had one right arm to give for my country.
Oh, well, there's always a left one, sir.
I'll be seeing you later.
Sir, yes, sir.
Meanwhile, back at the Chasins,
What I'm worried about, Doctor, is Harold. He needs you. I hope you can help him. The visit with Uncle Victor? Fine, I think. Oh, that must be maid number 6. I must answer the door. Yes, thank you, dear. Oh, hello. You must be the new maid.
Domestic engineer.
Domestic engineer. I'm Mrs. Chasen.
Lavelle Bouvier.
Lavelle Bouvier. What an interesting name.
My family's from New Orleans.
Were you there during Katrina?
Yes, ma'am, but thank God I'm here and glad to be starting over.
Well, I can only imagine. So, tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm proud grandmother of 3 and the very proud great-grandmother of 6.
You don't look old enough to be a great-grandmother.
Thank you. Hard work, a little olive oil, and a lot of praying.
Did you live in the French Quarter? I just love the French Quarter. All those lovely shops, the Café du Monde, the Hotel Monteleone on Royale.
I lived in the Ninth Ward. The French Quarter is mainly for tourists. That area of New Orleans wasn't hit like the Ninth Ward.
The Ninth Ward? Is that a suburb?
More like submarine. It's still underwater. Oh, you know, my grandmother was born there. My mother was born there. I was born there. As well as my kids and all my grandkids and my great-grandchildren. And I do miss it, Mrs. Jason, I do. It was my heart and soul. I miss the beignets, the étouffée. I do not miss the 18-hour workdays. Oh, thank God Katrina broke that spell, and I am here where I, my kids, my grandkids, and my great-grandkids can get a better life.
Well, God sometimes does work in mysterious ways. What have you heard about why my last maid, domestic engineer, left?
Housekeeper's cool. Something about Harold? You know, Mrs. Chasen, I know all about crazy animals. I had this dog once, this Italian greyhound, and my second husband, he'd say, "Oh, yow, chow, pow, He's Creole, you know. He'd say, that Italian greyhound, when he bark, do he say chow? Anyway, I'm very experienced with house training pets.
Well, Harold is not a pet. He's my son.
Oh, excuse me, Mrs. Chasen. I just thought when the agency said he tore the place up and often left everything a mess that he was just,
Well, and that's just the half of it. Harold is a very fine child, but he has a very peculiar sense of humor.
How peculiar.
Very. Were you looking for full-time?
No, part-time.
Wonderful. Can you start today?
Why, thank you, Mrs. Chasen.
a funeral takes place in a church. Harold is sitting in the pews when he hears a movement under the seat behind him.
Pardon me, do you see any nuts? No, I mean real nuts. I dropped some on the floor. Would you like some?
No, thank you.
Go ahead, they're nutritious.
No, really, I'm fine.
Okay, maybe later. I thought I dropped more. I must be getting clumsy in my old age. Did you know him?
Who?
The deceased.
Oh, no.
Well, I heard he was 80. Good time to move on, don't you think?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, 75, you're too early, and 85, you're just marking time. You might as well move on to new horizons. Like an orange?
The horizon's like an orange?
No, the horizon's not like an orange. Would you like an orange?
Oh, no thank you.
You don't eat much, do you?
Well, I don't want to spoil my lunch. In fact,
Do you go to funerals often?
well,
Oh, so do I. I just love funerals. They're so much fun. You know, there's change, and it's revolving, burials to life, to birth. Oh, the great circle of life. What's your name?
Harold Chasen.
I'm the Countess Matilda Chardon, but you can call me Maud.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you too. Harold, just look around you. Isn't this astounding? I mean, all this gloom and black, and look at those saints over there. Not a smile in the group. And the crucifixes. What do you suppose that's all about? I mean, you'd think they never went to the end of the story.
Madam, what are you doing?
Well, we're waiting for the service, Reverend. Are you presiding?
Yes, but you can't eat here. It's not allowed.
Oh, but that's so silly. I mean, this is the house of God, isn't it?
Yes, but I got to tell if you don't have to eat in...
What is your problem with that?
Well, madam, this is a funeral.
I know. And Harold and I were just talking about it. Why do you think there's this mania for black? I mean, people don't send black flowers to a funeral. It's so absurd.
Excuse me, but I better be going.
Lunch?
Yeah.
Well, eat well, Harold. I hope we get to see each other soon.
Now, madam, I'd like to talk to you about...
Oh, I'd like to have a little chat with you two. There are several things I've been meaning to bring up to you. Those saints, for example, look at them. They're not smiling. I mean, that is so silly. An unhappy saint is a contradiction in terms.
Well, you may have a point there, madam, but I have a service in 5 minutes.
5 minutes is plenty of time. You know, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. Come on over here for a minute. Why do you suppose they keep a lock on the poor box?
We've always had a lock on the poor box.
Well, not anymore.
Mrs. Chasen doing what Mrs. Chasen does best at the Chasen home.
I have here, Harold, the form sent by the National Computer Dating Service. It seems to me that this is a marvelous step in finding your prospective wife.
Wife?
Yes, dear, I think it's time you got married.
But I don't know if that's really what I...
But Harold, dear, we have a lot of work to do here, and I have a hair appointment at, oh my goodness, at 3 o'clock.
Mother,
So we need to get started. Yes.
I don't want to get married.
Oh, I'm sure everyone has felt that way at one time or another, but we've got to face realities. It's called growing up. Now, please, Harold. The computer dating service offers us at least 3 dates on our initial investment. They say they screen out the fat and ugly, so it's obviously a firm of high standards. They seem certain that they can find us at least one girl who is compatible. Now, please, dear, sit down. Here is the personality interview, which you were to fill out and return. There are 50 questions with 5 possibilities to check.
Yes, not sure, no, and absolutely no. Are you ready, Harold? The first question is, do you constantly wash your hands? Constantly, no. Wouldn't you agree, Harold? Perhaps even an absolutely no. Do you enjoy spending a lot of time by yourself? Well, that's easy, isn't it? Absolutely, yes. Should sex education be taught outside the home? I would say no, wouldn't you, Harold? Should women run for President of the United States? Well, I don't see why not. Do you think Hillary has a chance? Absolutely no. Do you often invite friends to your home? No, you never do, Harold. Do you often get the feeling that perhaps life isn't worth living? What would you say, Harold? You think yes or no? Well, let's just put down not sure. Do you prefer a sunrise more than a sunset? No, I wouldn't say that.
The subject of sex being overexploited by the media. Well, that would be a yes, wouldn't it? Do judges favor some lawyers? Well, yes, I suppose they do. Do you sometimes have headaches or backaches after a difficult day? Oh, yes, I do indeed. Do you go to sleep easily? I'd say no. Is it difficult for you to accept criticism? No, not at all. Do you believe in capital punishment for murder? Oh, well, yes. Do you believe churches have a strong influence to upgrade the general morality? Yes, again. In your opinion, are social affairs a waste of time? Well, heavens, no. Can God influence our lives? Yes, absolutely yes. Have you ever crossed the street to avoid meeting someone? Well, I'm sure you have, haven't you, dear? Did you enjoy life as a child? Oh, yes, you were a wonderful baby, Harold. Does your personal religion or philosophy include a life after death? Oh, yes, indeed, that's absolutely. Do you have ups and downs without obvious reasons? You do, don't you, dear? Do you remember jokes and take pleasure? Oh, Harold, we haven't finished the questionnaire.
A large sunny cemetery stretches on for almost eternity. Marked by white crosses and stars of David, mourners and the like gather as a priest presides with prayer.
Harold, is that you? Oh, excuse me. It's so nice to bump into you again. How have you been? Whose funeral is this?
I don't know.
You know, was that nice Father Finnegan we were talking to in the church yesterday? No, I'll have to stop by and say hello to him. But Harold, first, I need your help. Could you go over there and bring that little tree over here, please? I want to replant it.
You want to replant it here in the cemetery?
Well, yes.
Okay.
I mean, I was driving by the city hall today. Just look at it. It was stuck in a pot of cement. It was just suffocating from all the smog and automobile fumes. I decided to dig it up and replant it and give it a chance for life.
You mean you just took it?
Well, yes.
But it's public property.
Well, that's okay. I mean, look at the poor thing. The leaves are turning brown. I mean, people can live on automobile fumes, but trees, it gives them asthma. Harold, I think I've changed my mind. We're going to go elsewhere. Let's go get that hearse over there.
But that's my car.
Oh, all the better. Then you can drive. Just bring the tree.
Harold and Maud arrive at Maud's house. She actually lives in an old train car. Ironically, too, she's no stranger to train cars. Maud was a survivor of the Holocaust.
A ring of keys, you can get into any car you like and just drive off.
Oh, no, not any car. I like a variety. You know, with the basic set, you just have to make a few variations. I have had to make some new ones, though, for the newer models, but not as many as you might think. Oh, Harold, why don't you just put the tree right there? We'll take it out to the forest the first thing in the morning. Oh, the birds. You know, they're the only wildlife I see anymore. Free as a bird. You know, I used to break into pet stores and liberate canaries. Oh, the zoos are full. The prisons are overflowing. Oh, dear me, how the world so dearly loves a cage.
Is that a seal?
That's Mr. Murgatroyd. He's visiting for a few days. He's in the bathroom. You can go see if you'd like. He's expecting you.
Wait a minute. There's a real, actual seal in
Yes.
your...
I liberated him.
Well, heavens to Murgatroyd, there's really a seal in there.
I call him Bugsy for short. Say, how do you like this painting over here? It was done by a friend of mine.
She's,
Nude?
it's beautiful.
It's me. I modeled for him and he gave it to me. Carol, don't you like it?
Oh, sure.
Well, will you disapprove?
Oh, no.
You don't think it's wrong?
No? You're just so incredibly...
Naked? Yes, that's me. Listen, I'll put on the kettle, and why don't you sit down and we'll have some lunch?
Well, I'd love to, but I have to be going. I have an appointment.
At the dentist?
Kind of.
Well, go ahead.
Well, my mother had arranged a few things for me today.
Oh. Well, why don't you come back? You can come back anytime.
All right.
My door's always open.
All right.
Promise?
I promise.
Good. See you later.
All right. Goodbye, Mom.
Bye.
And goodbye, Mr. Murgatroyd.
No sooner did Harold leave Maud's house, he runs into the priest, who's conversing with Inspector Bernard and Sergeant Doppel.
This is your car, isn't it, Father?
Yes.
Doppel, mark that down, positive ID. All right, now sign here, and we can take out on a warrant for Madame Jardine Dan.
You mean arrest her?
That's right. We've had dealings with her before, but every time we think we've got her, she somehow manages to talk her way out of it. But don't you worry, Padre. She won't be able to this time. Who are you?
Hello, Father.
She said, who are you?
Harold Chasen.
Oh, the one who drove off with Madame Chardin? Take down his name, Doppel.
What's this about?
Are you friends with Madame Chardin? Ask the questions here. Are you friends with Madame Chardin, Dan? Dean Dan?
Maud?
Yes!
Yes. Yes, I am.
Take that down. Check him for any outstanding violations.
But I haven't done anything.
Well, maybe not, but your friend has been accused of stealing the father's car.
I've been thinking it over.
Well, she just borrowed it.
Inspector, I don't want to make a fuss.
She borrowed my hearse, too.
You drive a hearse?
Well, actually, it's going to be a hybrid car. You see, I'm combining the Jaguar and a hearse, and it's going to be kind of...
No outstanding violations, although he was asked to leave high school. Huh.
Well, I got my GED online.
Don't be a smarty pants.
I did.
Harold, let me handle this, please. Inspector, I've got my car back, and I just want to drop the whole thing.
What? I'll handle this, Doppel. Go wait in the car. Don't play with the radio. I have been trying to get something on her for so long. You can't back out on me now.
It's better to turn the other cheek.
But you don't understand. Try to...
I'll speak to her firmly, but I'll not be prosecuting anyone. He without sin cast the first stone.
Well, then you can be responsible for any further stunts that she pulls. Silence! It just came over the radio. We're wanted at the zoo right away. The zoo? They reported a stolen seal.
Huh?
What? A stolen seal? Oh my God, there's more nuts in this town than I thought. Let's go, Doppel. Yes, ma'am.
I know she means well, but her impulsiveness is going to get her into trouble. Is she home? Let's pay her a visit.
No, she's not home right now.
Very well. I just want you to tell her. I think she's very lucky.
I agree. I mean, I'll tell her when I see her.
Good boy. And good day.
Okay. I have a frog in my throat.
Sounded more like a seal to me. I think I must be losing my mind.
Oh, it happens to the best of us.
Mrs. Chasen has just finished meeting Harold's first computer date. Hardly a match. Lavelle, the new housekeeper, in her own subtle way, assures her of that.
Girl number one is absolutely not a match for Harold Chasen.
Are you sure?
Absolutely. Let me ask you a question, Mrs. Chasen, and don't you get offended.
What?
Never mind.
What?
Do you think Harold likes girls?
Likes girls? Well, of course he does.
Okay.
It's a beautiful day at the beach to say goodbye to Mr. Murgatroyd. The thought of a caged animal being freed brings back old memories for Maud. It's a new experience for Harold. His concerns are, will Mr. Murgatroyd be too tame to be free? Will the global warming affect his normal habitat? Will he make it out there? Maud's only concern is that it's best Mr. Murgatroyd be free.
Goodbye, Mr. Murgatroyd.
Goodbye, Muggsy.
Oh, Harold, he looks so happy there. Look how he swims. He swims so well. He's just rolling over and flip-flopping about. Muggsy, you're going the wrong way. Swim north. Oh, that's better. We want him to be with his friends.
I hope he'll be okay.
Oh, Harold, you know, we're giving life to try things out. I'm sure Mr. Murgatroyd will be very happy where he's going in his own environment. Life is short, Harold, and it doesn't last forever. I know he's happy.
You make me happy, Mom.
You make me happy too, Harold. Did I tell you I'm going to be 80 on Saturday?
You don't look 80 at all.
Well, that's the influence of the right kind of exercise, the right food, and the right breathing. Greet the dawn with a breath of fire, like this. Oh, well, you can tell the body's going. Oh, I'm well into autumn. I'm going to have to get rid of all of that on Saturday, I guess.
What's that?
Do you sing?
I'm sorry?
Do you sing and dance?
Well, I took a dance class when I was younger.
Oh, Harold, you still are young. All you have to do is I'll show you a few steps and just follow my lead.
I have 2 left feet.
Oh, Harold, just don't worry about it. Don't mind the sand and just feel the vibe. You'll do great. You'll be fine. Let's go. Oh, you're doing great, Harold. Oh, Harold. What else do you like to do?
Well, on Thursdays I go to junkyards. That's the day that they crush old cars into compressed cubes of metal. That's also where I found the hearse that you borrowed from me the other day. I'm making a hybrid car.
Hybrids are great for global warming.
I can take you to the junkyard sometime if you'd like to go.
Oh, love to go. And in return, I'll take you to a flower farm. Have you ever been to one?
No.
Oh, flowers are so friendly and empathetic. They grow and bloom and fade and die and change into something else. Do you have feelings?
Yeah, it's all change, I imagine.
Oh, yes. And you know, if I had my choice, I think I would like to change into a sunflower most of all.
Why is that, Mom?
Oh, because they're simple and bright, and they're tall. You know, when I was a little girl, I always wanted to be long, but that never happened. And there was nothing I could do about it except make up my mind that it wasn't going to stop me, and it hasn't. Still, I think that would have been a lot of fun. Harold, if you had your choice, what kind of flower would you like to be?
I don't know. I'm just an ordinary person. Maybe a daisy or something.
Well, why do you say that?
Because I guess they're all the same.
Oh, Harold, they're not. They're not all the same. Just look at them. They're all different. Some are small and some are fat and some grow to the left and some grow to the right. And some have petals missing. They're all different, Harold. They're just like people. You know, once you get to know them, there's not a repeat in a bunch. They're all individuals, each flower.
Well, we may be individuals, all right, but we have to grow together.
That's true, but I believe that most of the sorrow in the world comes from the fact that some people like to be treated like this and let themselves be treated like that. Hey, do you like champagne?
Oh, I really don't drink.
It's okay, it's organic.
It'll be a new experience for me, Mom.
Well, we can make a toast. Let's make a toast to you and Muncie.
Well, and you too, Mom. But I better be careful. I don't want to drink and drive.
Well, where are you going this time?
Well, I promised my mother I'd visit my Uncle Victor today. And tomorrow, my mother has a girl coming by the house that I have to meet. But I'm sure after that I could stop by.
Oh, that's a wonderful idea, Harold. That'll be a date, okay?
Okay?
Now, if you'll be a gentleman, you can drive me home. That would be lovely.
My pleasure, Maud.
Oh, mine too, Harold.
Well, Muggsy made it to freedom, and Harold and Maude made it back to her house safely. But something a little strange and unexpected happened on the way to visit Uncle Victor. Though Harold had only had one more glass of champagne at Maude's house, it all came to a head when Harold pulled into the VA hospital parking lot, scraping Uncle Victor's car from one end to the other.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da! They kept falling. Shock! Joe falls back. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da! A neat hole appears in Joe's head. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da! Only one thing kept going through my mind. Kill! 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 For Joe and Mac and the rest of the guys. Kill! All of a sudden, there was a blinding blast, a flash! And I woke up on a stretcher. Did we hold? I asked the medic. Yes, sir, he said. And I slipped into unconsciousness.
Wow, that is a terrific story, sir.
You're acting a little peculiar. Have you been drinking?
Oh, no, sir, I'm not old enough to drink, sir.
Well, you're old enough to fight. Someday you'll have stories like that of your own to tell.
Do you really think so, sir?
Sure you will.
Gee, I never dreamed it could be so exciting.
It's the most exciting thing in the world. War is amazing.
Well, it's much better than cutting and running, sir.
Not even a thought.
Who needs an exit plan?
Huh?
To pit your own life against another.
To kill the insurgents and destroy Al-Qaeda.
To kill!
Yes, to kill!
The taste of blood in your
yes,
mouth!
the moment of truth.
Another man's life in your sight. You decide. Him or me. Bang!
Yes?
And will they teach me to shoot like Oswald Whitman or Cho?
A law firm?
Or better yet, Blackwater. Yeah. I could be a high-paid covert op.
Harold, stop this right now.
And they'll teach me hand-to-hand combat. To strangle someone. To squeeze out his life in your own bare hands.
Harold, stop this right now.
To collect souvenirs, eyes, ears, and privates.
Stop this right. That's disgusting.
That's amazing. That's war. All in the name of Nathan Hale. All in the name of peace. If you'll excuse me, sir, I have to be going, but I hope I'll see you soon.
My God. Didn't know the boy had it in him.
The next morning at the Chasen residence, Harold's second computer date sits center stage. And then, well, you'll see.
Milk,
No, thank you.
sugar.
No, thank you. Well, all right.
Excuse me while I refresh my drink. Thank you, Lavelle. Lavelle, would you please go get
Harold!
So, I understand you're a secretary.
Yes, that's right. Harrison Feed and Grain.
And what does that entail?
Well, I get to work at 8:30, sometimes 8:40 if I don't catch my bus, but that's all right because Mr. Harrison never gets in before 9. In fact, Sheila says, well, that's Sheila Fahrenheit. She works across the hall from me at Henderson Tool and Die. That's nothing to do with us, of course, although sometimes our mail gets sent there and their mail gets sent to us. I mean, Harrison Feed and Grain, Henderson Tool and Die, they are sort of the same, but of course, we're in absolutely different businesses altogether. Sometimes Sheila and I have a laugh over that.
Well, that is very interesting. I wonder what is keeping Harold. He said he was just going to change his clothes. More tea, Nancy?
Oh, no, thank you.
What does your father do for a living?
He's retired. He used to work in television.
Oh, really?
Yes, he put the antennas on the roof.
Oh.
But after my sister Gloria got married last April, or maybe it was the April before that, do you remember when we had all that rain? It rained the day of the wedding, too. But as my daddy said to me, I was one of the bridesmaids, after the rain comes the sunshine. And I suppose it's right, because now she lives in Saudi Arabia. Her husband's in oil.
I can't imagine what is keeping Harold. He said he was just going to change his shirt. Lavelle?
Yes. He said he was having trouble dressing.
Oh. How did you hear about the computer club?
The club? Oh, that's a funny story. Last month, my girlfriend Sheila, I mentioned her from across the hall. Well, she was going out with this boy Arthur. He plays the clarinet. Well, Arthur has this twin brother called Arnold, who just happens to be one of the drivers who works for us. You know, we have a trucking fleet of 10 or sometimes 12 trucks. In fact, I type up the schedules every single week, usually Monday mornings, unless, of course, I still have the invoices due from the previous Friday.
Oh, Harold. Harold, I'd like for you to meet Nancy Nersch. Nancy, this is my son, Harold.
It's Nancy, actually. Pleased to meet you.
How do you do?
Harold, have a seat, and Lavelle will pour you some tea. Nancy was just telling me about, what was it, dear?
Invoices. Nancy was telling you how she types up the invoices on Monday.
Yes, thank you. Yes. Nancy is a secretary at Henderson Feed and Grain.
Oh, no, it's Harrison. That's Harrison Feed and Grain.
Oh, yes.
You were probably thinking of Henderson Tool and Die.
Oh, undoubtedly.
It's a common mistake.
Oh, yeah.
Mrs. Chasen is on the phone talking to Dr. Matthews.
Doctor, I had hoped to see some sign of improvement. But so far, the only thing that seems to prevent him from destroying my furniture or making a mess of my house is the new housekeeper. She's good. Thank you, Lavelle. He still has these fascinations with suicide, but I just can't believe he's serious. Just some childhood phase. What? So what if he is 19? He's still my baby. When are you seeing him again? When are you seeing him again?
He canceled his appointments this morning.
What?
I think he sounded hungover, actually. I don't know. He sounded different, weird.
Oh, he
Canceled his
oh,
appointments.
Lord. Where am I to turn? His Uncle Victor said that he thought the army could make a man out of him, but Harold tried to strangle him.
Really?
Yes.
Well, based on what I know about Harold, I'd say he has all the qualifications for a military career.
It's raining outside in the night, but inside, all is warm and cozy. Harold and Maude have just finished a Japanese-style dinner.
It was made for me in Yokohama with matching fans.
It's beautiful. I'm glad we decided to eat Oriental. It's a perfect dinner.
It was a perfect day walking through the flower farm in the rain. Oh, I can't imagine anything more delightful.
We were soaked. We could have used that umbrella over there.
Oh. My goodness, I haven't seen this in years. I haven't even thought about it. It used to be my defense on picket lines, rallies, and political meetings against the police dragging me off or being attacked by thugs of the opposition. But that was a long time ago.
What were you fighting for?
Oh, big issues. Liberty, rights, justice. Kings died and kingdoms fell. You know, I never minded the kingdoms because I didn't believe in borders or nations or patriotism. But I miss the kings. When I was a little girl, I remember being taken to a garden party at the palace. I remember the sunshine on the fountains, the parasols, and the shining uniforms of the young officers. Oh, I always wanted to marry a soldier. Frederick would chide me about that. He was always so proper. He was tall and elegant, and he played the guitar. You know, he was a doctor at the university and in the government, and he thought that dignity was in the way you wore your hat. That's how I met him. I knocked his hat off with a snowball in the Volksgarten. But that was long before.
So you don't use the umbrella anymore?
Oh, no. I don't. Not anymore.
No more revolts?
Oh, yes. I fight for big issues now, but I do it in my own way, in my own small way. I don't need a defense anymore. I embrace. You know, Confucius said, don't just be good, make good things happen.
Did Confucius really say that?
He was a very wise man, so he must have.
Well, you are the wisest person I know.
Me? No. When I look around me, Harold, I know nothing. But I do remember many years ago in Persia, we went to a bazaar and we met this very wise man, and his specialty for tourists was a maxim carved at the head of a pen. It was the wisest, the truest, the most instructive words he said. And Frederick bought it for me. And when we got back to the hotel, I peered through a magnifying glass to read it, and it said, "This too shall pass." You know, if you remember those words, you can't help but live life to the fullest.
Yes. I haven't lived. I've died a few times.
What?
Died.
Tell me about it.
Well, it's a question of timing and the right equipment. Are you sure you want to hear about all this?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. Well, the first time wasn't even planned. I was at boarding school and I was doing some experiments in the chemistry lab. And I was mixing this stuff together, all very scientific. When suddenly there was this massive explosion. Pow! It blew a hole in the floor, knocked me down and singed my hair. And when I got up, smoke and flames everywhere. I just wanted to get out of there. And when I got out, wow. The whole top of the building was on fire. Alarms were ringing and people were shouting, so I figured it was time for me to go home. When I got there, my mother was still giving one of her parties. So I crept up the back staircase to my room when I heard a ring at the front door. It was the police. I leaned over the banister and heard them tell my mother that I'd been killed, that I had died in an accident at school. I didn't see her face, but I saw her look around at everyone around her, and she began to stagger. And then with one arm, she put on her forehead, and with the other, she reached out as if groping for support. Two men rushed to her side, and with a long, long sigh, she collapsed in their arms. I decided then I enjoyed being dead.
I understand. You know, some people enjoy being dead, but they're not dead really. They're just backing away from life. You have to reach out, take a chance, get hurt maybe, but live life the best you know how. Go, team, go! Give me an L. Give me an I. Give me a V. Give me an E. L-I-V-E. Live. Otherwise, you'll never have anything to talk about in the locker room.
I like you, Ma.
I like you too, Harold. Let's have a song. Let's have a song and dance. Don't tell me you can't dance. You told me you took dance lessons. Come on, follow my lead. Music is the universal language. This gal's in love. This gal's in love with you. This gal's in love with you the whole day through.
Harold is center stage, dancing and singing by himself.
I've just seen your last computer date drive up, Harold. She'll be here in just a minute. Now, I want you to assure me that there'll be no repetition of your previous experiences. Now, I'm going to leave you alone with her here in this room, and I do not want to come back and find her hysterical. Now, Lavelle was not happy about cleaning up all that fake blood from date number 2. Now, this is your last one.
Yes,
After
Mother.
all, if you think that you can do without Dr. Matthews, this is your chance to prove it. Your Uncle Victor said that he was ready to sign you up as long as you didn't strangle anyone on our side. Now be polite and be a gentleman, and kindly remember that this is your third and final chance. Oh, hello, you must be...
Sunshine Doré.
How do you do?
Can't complain.
Oh, you must be the actress.
I like to think so.
Well, you and Harold should have a lot to talk about. He's very into theatrics. He even took a few dancing and guitar lessons.
Kick ass. Excuse me.
Harold, perhaps Starlight would like a cigarette.
Oh, no, it's sunshine.
Oh, yes.
Would you like a cigarette?
Ew, no thank you. They stain my fingertips. As an actress, I cannot afford to have a tarnished instrument.
Oh. Is Sunshine your real name?
Actually, it was the name of my drama teacher, Louis Sunshine. Perhaps you've heard of him.
No.
Oh. Well, he was such an influence on the development of my instrument, that means my body in theater talk, that when I felt the need to describe the emerging me, I took on Sunshine as a tribute
Doré is my real name. Well, Dor, actually. Wow, this is a really nice place you have here. I mean, great furniture. Oh, it reminds me of the set we used for Macbeth. We did it in modern dress.
Do you do a lot of acting?
Oh, sure, I practice every day. That's the sunshine method, keeping your instrument finely tuned. Ha, ha, ha! Lately, I've been working a lot on the classic Shakespeare, Shaw. Oh, I've been working on Cleopatra. I want to do it with an Egyptian accent. Good, right? Whoa. That is a really kick-ass knife you have there. It reminds me of one when we did Ibsen's The Seagull. May I see it?
That's it.
That's what?
That's a fantastic knife right there.
It is?
Yes, because of this reason.
What?
It's a Harry Carry blade.
What's Harry Carry?
An ancient Japanese ceremony.
Like a tea ceremony.
No, not at all. You see, it's like this.
Oh my God, Harold, that was marvelous! It had that ring of truth in it. I mean, Hagachi, they were the people that made my cell phone. That is so Japanese! Harold, who did you study with? Oh my God. Oh my God. I am so sorry. I don't want to break into this private moment you're having. I know how exhausting true emotion could be. I played Juliet at the Sunshine Playhouse. Lewis thought it was my best role yet. What's this? A cup? Closed in my true love's hand? Poison, I see, hath been his timeless end. Oh, Charles, dropped all and left no friendly drop to help me after. I will kiss thy lips. Happily, some poison doth hang on them to make me die with a restorative. Oh, thy lips are warm. Yea, noise, then I'll be brief. Oh, happy dagger. Oh, happy dagger. This is thy sheath. There rest, and let me die.
Maud is outside her place watering her ferns when the dynamic duo of Inspector Bernard and Sergeant Doppel.
I just cried.
Are you all right?
Oh, yes.
Madam,
But it's wonderful to see you. You know, I'm sorry that I missed you the other day, but
Madam Chardine Dang Dong. We are here We are here on serious business, and I don't think you're going to be able to talk yourself out of this one. Are you familiar with Barclay Brothers Furniture?
No, should I?
Well, yes, you should, because that's where all your furniture came from.
Oh, yes. I seem to remember that. There was this wonderful little salesman with kind of a twitch in one eye. Oh, we talked at great length about where he wanted to go. You know, he actually wanted to go to the South Pacific to photograph parrots and tortoiseshells.
What was his name? Doppel?
Quincy Elliott. Oh,
Quincy Elliott.
yes, that was his name. I wonder if it ever became of him.
Well, from what we can gather, he shipped out on a freighter to Samoa.
Oh, wonderful. You know, that was the only way I said that he was going to get rid of that twitch.
Okay, I forgot what I was here for. We have here a list of furniture delivered to this house. There is, however, no indication of any payment whatsoever. So unless you can make payment at once, I have a court order authorizing me to repossess all the furniture without further delay. Do you have the money?
No.
Do you have any money? No, I didn't think so. You leave me no choice but to take everything you have.
You're gonna take everything?
Everything.
Oh.
Now, I'm not going to pretend this isn't giving me a certain amount of satisfaction. You have been a thorn in my side for quite some time, but I'm not completely unfeeling. Now, there's a nice old folks home run by the county. I'm sure if you just sold this house...
This house?
Yes.
I mean, you're gonna take this house? Isn't it on the list?
What?
I mean, I seem to remember that this house came with the furniture.
This isn't your house?
Oh,
I'm going to leave you in charge. I'm going back to the station and check on her story.
no. Inspector, it's all true.
Well, if it is, madam,
Shut
you'll
up.
be looking for a house tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow's my birthday, and that'll work out just fine. I was planning to move on anyway. Oh.
What's going on here?
The inspector wants to take my furniture.
Repossessing.
Yes. How long do you think that will take?
Well, what we don't take by tonight, we'll take tomorrow.
That'll work out just fine. That'll give me plenty of time to get rid of all the rest of these things.
But Maud, why are they taking the furniture?
They're clearing out the house, Harold. And that works out just fine. You know, how would you like one of my paintings? You could use a little color in your life.
But Maud,
What?
how are you going to live in an empty house?
Oh, that's okay, Harold. It's all going to be going. They're taking the house, too. Sergeant, why don't you come in and you can have a pick of anything you want in my collection. This is so exciting to think that all my things are going to a new home. Oh, Harold, look. We still haven't planted that tree. Oh. Sergeant, this is urgent business. We have got to go. Harold, I'm going to the forest, and you can come with me, and you bring the tree, and I'll go get a shovel.
Okay.
Okay? Come on.
Do you think she'd mind?
Not that. If I took this bird bath for myself.
Sergeant, I'm not so sure she would mind if you were to sit in it naked and balance a ball on your nose.
The sun shines bright. Harold and Maud are in the forest. The sun is streaming down through the pine trees as they finish planting the little tree. Trees make it possible to breathe. Once I had a tree house down on my grandpa's farm. It held me in its branches.
Our little tree, I know you'll be happy here.
It's a nice spot, you know? Soil.
Oh, yes, I love the soil. I love the smell of it. I love the feel of it. It's the earth. The earth is my body. My head is in the stars. Who said that?
I don't know.
I guess I did. Well, little tree, farewell. Grow up tall, change, fall to the earth and replenish. Oh, Harold, this is so wonderful. It's exciting to think that there's so many living things around us.
Yeah, it's great, but Maud, they're not going to be evicted tomorrow.
Oh, well.
Maud, I was thinking we should have a surprise for you.
Well, you could still do that because they're not going to evict me before then.
What about the furniture?
Oh, it'll give us plenty of room for dancing.
Maud, most people aren't like you. They're locked up in themselves. They live in their castles all alone. They're like me.
Harold, people live in their castles, but they have to throw down the drawbridge sometime and come out for a visit.
But you agree, Maud, that we live alone and we die alone, each in our own individual cell.
Yes, but that's true. But you have to make it as pleasant as possible. You have to have good books, warm fires, and lots of memories. And you have to climb over that wall and experience the unknown. There's too many walls in the world. We need more bridges.
You know, planting this tree was a whole new experience for me. But Maude, what happened to your husband?
Oh, Harold, he died in the war. I never did find out how. There was so much confusion and everything after the war, and when I began looking for him, no one seemed to know.
You must have traveled around a lot together.
Oh, we did. I remember a day like today in Shanghai. Oh, it was blue skies and lots of clouds.
Yes. So big and so blue. And to imagine that beyond all of it is the vast blackness of space.
Sprinkled with uncountable stars. As my friend used to say, they're shining right now. We just can't see them. And then, in another instance, she'd say, and all that's beyond the bounds of human perception.
Ma,
Yes.
are you religious?
What does that mean?
Well, do you believe in God?
Well, yes. Doesn't everyone?
Well, do they?
Well, I'm sure they do. It's part of being human.
But Maude, who is God?
God has many names. Brahma, the Tao, Buddha, Hashem. But I like what it says in the Quran best. God is love.
Well, it says that in the Bible. And anyway, it's just a cliche. But Maude, where is God? Is he inside us, or is he outside us, or...
I think he's both. He's inside of us to tell us where we've been, and outside of us to tell us where we're going.
It's pretty mystical.
It is a mystery. And frankly, I don't know if he's our father or our mother. But when I look at this little tree, I know he's very creative.
I like it here. Makes me feel like a kid. You look beautiful.
Oh, Harold.
No, Maude, I mean it. You're the most beautiful person I've ever seen.
Oh, Harold, you make me feel like a schoolgirl. Oh.
Thank you for a wonderful day.
It was marvelous, wasn't it? And now it's going to end. Look, it's setting beyond the horizon. And soon it'll be gone. Soon we'll be in darkness and in stars. Look, Harold!
What? Well, she's just a seagull.
You know, Dreyfus once wrote that on Devil's Island, he saw the most glorious birds. And then he went back to Brittany, and he found out that they were seagulls. Harold, I think they will always be the most glorious birds.
Harold and Maude enter her house in the dark. All the furniture is gone, and the room is completely empty.
What the heck?
It's marvelous. Look how much room there is.
Maude, it's completely empty.
Oh, Harold, it's like seeing everything in a new light. Oh, my goodness, the bed is in the living room and the lamps are gone. It's like seeing everything again for the first time. Oh, you know, and Sergeant Dobble even took the ferns. But I wonder why he didn't take the painting.
Maude, what are we gonna do when they come back for the rest of this stuff? That's what we have to be thinking about.
No, don't worry about that, Harold. It's okay.
You're right. Because whatever happens, Maude, I'm going to take care of you.
What's that?
You don't have to worry about a thing, Maude.
Oh, Harold, that is so sweet. I'm going to have to think of something extra special for you.
I mean it, Maude.
I know you do. No, I've got to get to the orphanage and get rid of all these things.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
That reminds me. I have a surprise planned for you.
A surprise. Harold,
Here, tomorrow.
no, I'm just so thrilled.
Maud, look. Out the window. You can see the stars. What was it that your friend said about the stars?
She said that, well, she used to tell me that it would take the light traveling to reach us 1 million years. And in 1 million years, nature evolved the wing of a bird. And in 1 million years, who knows what will have happened? Maybe we will have evolved from a caterpillar to a butterfly. Maybe we will have phased out all evil. Maybe we'll be flying around like angels. That was her hope, her faith, and her peace.
Maud, what's the matter? Maud? Maud,
I was looking through this box today, and I had Frederick's letters. I had the war ration card and my picture. I was so different then, and yet so much the same.
But Maud, I've never seen you cry before. I never thought you would. I thought you could always be so happy, Maud.
Harold, you're so young. What have they taught you? Yes, I cry. I cry for you. I cry for beauty. I cry for sunsets and seagulls. I cry for man when he tortures his brother and when he asks for forgiveness, and forgiveness is not given, and then when it is given, I cry. I laugh, I cry. It's all part of human traits. The one thing you have to remember, Harold, is don't be afraid to be human.
It's the following morning, and Mrs. Chasen is in the living room talking on the telephone with her hairdresser.
No, Betty, a total failure. Well, the first one fled, the second one fainted, and the third one gave me heart palpitations. Well, yes, she was completely crazy. She was an actress, completely mad. Well, she kept talking about her instrument and quoting little bits from Camille. Well, Harold, I think he was just as shocked as I was. But Betty, that was Thursday afternoon. Now, yesterday morning, he got up early, and he went out, and he didn't return. Actually, he's been out all night. I don't know where he could have been. What? Well, no, I haven't called the police yet. I thought I'd get your advice first. Well, I thought that if he hadn't returned by 12, I'll just have to cancel my appointment for this afternoon. Oh, Mario, I know he'll be furious, but after all, I just really don't know what else I can do, Betty. Oh, Harold, excuse me, Betty. Hold on just a moment. Harold, where have you been?
I've been out all night.
Well, you don't have to tell me that. I've just been a bag of nerves all morning. What I want to know is where you spent the night.
Mother? Mother, I'm going to get married.
Oh, congratulations, Harold.
I beg your pardon?
I'm going to get married.
Oh, Lavelle, would you please make me a drink?
Oh, my day just ended.
Oh. See y'all tomorrow. Well, Harold, you can't just come in here like that and say something. Harold, you can't just leave like that. You've got, if this is serious.
It is.
Well, then I've got to know who it is. Who is it? Oh, don't tell me. It's the actress.
No.
Oh, thank God. Well, is it the little blonde or is it the mousy brunette?
neither.
Neither. Well, who is it then? What's she like?
Very beautiful.
Well, Harold, where did you meet her?
In church one day.
Does Father Finnegan know her?
Yes, they're very good friends. No, Mother, I really have to be going. I have to buy an engagement ring. I'm going to propose tonight. I have so many things to do. No,
Hey,
Mother.
Harold, you can't race into something like this. What's her background? Where's her family from?
Austria. They were Austrian aristocracy.
Oh, socially prominent, are they?
I believe she said she was a countess.
A countess? I wonder what that would make me.
You'll excuse me.
Harold! I've got to meet her. Where does she live? I've got to make a call on the family.
The last house on Waverly Street, number 726.
Harold, you didn't tell me her name.
Maud.
Maud Chasen. Mrs. Harold Chasen. Oh, Betty, are you there? The most amazing thing has happened. Harold has found a fiancée.
Maud is at her house, humming merrily to herself when Inspector Bernard enters.
Inspector, how nice to see you. I've just put the kettle on. Would you care for a glass of oat straw tea?
No, madam, I am not here for tea.
Well, I can't imagine anyone turning down a new experience.
That may be, but I'm here from the county courthouse. This is an eviction notice. You have 24 hours to leave this house.
Oh, that'll give me plenty of time. I plan to be gone by midnight.
Now, I just want to say one thing before I go. I know I've been hard on you.
Oh, no.
Well, I have, but I just want you to know it's nothing personal. It's just my job. Someone has to keep things stable around here. Someone has to keep people like you from rocking the boat. I just want you to know it's just my job.
Well, Inspector, I know that. But how can you keep life from standing still? I mean, yesterday this place was full. Today it's empty.
Yes.
Oh, and the people from the orphanage are supposed to come by and finish taking away things. That reminds me, Inspector, how would you like to have this painting? It's called The Ecstasy of St. Teresa.
Is that?
Yes.
Oh, no, thank you.
Well, maybe I'll give it to Father Finnegan. It does have religious overtones.
Good luck, madam.
Thank you, Inspector.
Excuse me, I was looking for the last house on Waverly Street, number 726.
There's only one house on this street. This is it. Good luck.
Hello?
Yes, hello there. Oh, the books are in the corner. I'm making tea and I'll be out in just a moment. Would you care for a cup?
Well, yes.
I'll be right there. No. Oh, I'll put it right here on the truck.
Oh, excuse me. I must have the wrong address. I was looking for a young girl.
You're not from the orphanage?
No.
Huh. That's strange. I was expecting someone from the orphanage. They were going to pick up all the rest of my things.
Oh, I see. Well, I do volunteer work at the hospital from time to time, but not at the orphanage. But at the moment, I was looking for a young girl who was supposed to live here.
Oh, well, I'm the only one that lives here, and today is my 80th birthday.
80 years old. How marvelous. Congratulations.
Thank you. Well, as you can see, this place is a real mess. Everything's so topsy-turvy.
Well, perhaps that young girl is moving in here, do you think?
Well, it could be. Here you are.
Oh, thank you. Oh, what a lovely teapot.
Yes, isn't it? It belonged to my late husband's family. So you like it?
Very much.
Let me give it to you.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, yes, I'd love for you to have it.
Oh, I couldn't.
Oh, please, I insist.
Well, let me pay you for it.
Oh, no, not at all. It's yours.
Well, if you insist. Thank you. That's very sweet of you.
Well,
You know, this is very, very delicious tea.
yes, it's oat straw tea.
Aunt Betty. Oh, excuse me. I haven't introduced myself. I'm Mrs. Helen Chasen.
Not Harold's mother.
Why, yes.
Oh, we're great friends. It's so nice to meet you at last.
And you are?
Oh, I'm the Countess Matilda Chardon.
The Countess.
Yes, that's a silly title, but you can call me Maud.
Maud. Maud? Maud?
Yes, Ellen.
So you know my son?
Oh, yes, we're wonderful friends. You know, I think he needs to get out and meet more people, don't you? He's told me that you've tried to introduce him to these computer girls, but I really think he needs to meet someone on his own.
Yes, that's what I'm afraid
Oh,
of.
well, don't be. He's got to leave the nest sometime.
You said you were leaving?
Yes, I'll be out of here by midnight.
Definitely?
Oh, yes, I'm going to New Horizons.
Then Harold hasn't told you
About what?
Well, this is a rather delicate matter, and I don't know quite how to broach it, but...
Yes?
Did Harold mention marriage ever?
No. Why do you ask?
Well, he's a very impulsive boy, and he has this idea, and... Well, what do you think of marriage?
I think it's wonderful. It's a beautiful experience. Two people growing into one.
What I mean is, what do you think of an older woman marrying a younger man?
Oh, I don't think there's any difference, do you?
Well, I think to some there would be a difference.
Oh, really? Well, what about an older man marrying a younger woman?
Well, that's different. That's accepted.
You're afraid what people might say, aren't you?
Well, after all...
Has this
I
been
mean-
bothering you long?
Well, I just think that an older woman...
Who's been married before?
Yes.
And her husband's dead?
Yes.
And she wants to marry a younger man?
Well, I guess-
Helen, go ahead and marry your young man.
What?
Yes. I mean, you know, some people may look down their noses at it and think it's very strange, but you need to marry that young man. Listen to your heart, and you'll never go wrong.
I don't think you understand. It's not me I'm worried about. It's Harold.
Oh, Harold won't mind. I'll have a talk with him.
Oh, no.
There's something else bothering you, isn't there?
Yes,
Helen? Oh, it's the honeymoon, isn't it, Helen?
What?
Oh, Helen, you're a fine-looking woman. There's many a cock in the barnyard who would love to roost on a perch with you. Believe me.
Excuse me, I need to be going.
Oh, Helen, I'm so glad that you stopped by and that you confided in me. You know, don't worry about that at all. With the right exercise and the right breathing, you'll match him night for night.
Goodbye.
Mrs. Chasen is anticipating some sort of religious intervention, an epiphany, a stigmata, anything at this point.
Oh, Father Finnegan, so good of you to come.
Not at all, Mrs. Chasen. What is it I can do for you?
You know my son?
Yes, a very charming young boy, very pious. I often see him at the funerals.
Funerals? Well, he's getting married.
Oh. Well, excellent news. Do I know the lucky young bride?
The Countess.
The Countess.
Yes, Maud.
Sweet Mother of God.
Harold, I've called you on your cell phone all day. Why haven't you answered?
Well, I smashed it into a million pieces so I never have to hear your voice again.
What's come over you?
Love.
Love?
Yes, Mother. Love.
That's not love. That's some geriatric obsession. Father, talk to him. Tell him. Forbid him.
Well, actually, Mrs. Chasen, I don't think I'm the right person for this affair. After all, if the boy is of age and he wants to do this thing, I don't think I or the church.
Well, he respects you. He'll listen to you.
Are you okay, Father?
It's just a little lightness in the head.
Oh, I know that feeling. I could just collapse from anxiety right now. Harold, Father has something to tell you.
Eh?
Tell him about the scandal. Tell him about the publicity. Remember, you're my final hope. I'm depending on you.
Harold.
Yes, Father?
Harold, help me out.
Yes.
Harold, the church has got nothing against the union of the old and the young. Every age has its own beauty. But marital union is concerned with conjugal rights and the procreation of children. The idea of intercourse.
Father?
It'd be miss. The union of the old and the young, with saggy breasts and withered flesh and flabby buttocks. Of the mature female person.
Father?
Quite frankly and candidly, it's something that I feel. Oh, I don't think I'm going to get to know.
Father, okay, Father.
I think that's a little
Right?
I don't mind if I do.
I'll be back with yours.
Oh, Harry, help me. Help me out.
Yes, Father.
Oh, Harold, don't do this thing.
Father.
Harold,
Father.
I can take good care of you.
Lavelle!
Harold,
Father.
I got the power.
Lavelle, help!
Father.
Harold,
Father.
don't.
Father.
Let me take you one.
Forgive me, Father. Forgive me, Lord. Father.
This whole household is crazy. You're not going to quit, are you?
I think I'll be going now. Goodbye.
Harold, I don't understand it. How can you do this to me?
Mother, I have to be going.
You're throwing your life away. Think about that. Think about what people will say.
I don't care what people will say!
You don't care?
No!
Well, you're not going to have an 80-year-old princess for a daughter-in-law. Harold, all I want is for you to marry a nice girl and have a nice wedding. What are you doing?
I'm leaving.
You're walking out?
Yes.
Well, where are you going?
I'm going to marry the woman I love.
Oh, Harold. Doctor, this is Helen Chasen.
Hello, Helen, what can I do you for?
Doctor, I am so worried.
Oh,
Harold is getting married.
Echo on this phone. Oh, you said Harold is getting married.
Yes. Can you hear me all
Yes,
right?
I can hear you. I can hear your voice.
Harold is getting married.
Oh,
Harold
no.
is marrying an older woman.
Oh, an old woman.
Yes, it's just, he's so irresponsible, it's driving me crazy.
Oh, well.
Yes, I need your help.
Well, what can I do for you?
I would like for you to help me by telling me what Harold told you in his session,
Oh,
so that I can talk to him.
No, I can't do that.
Why not?
Well, why?
Why not?
Helen, no. Confidential information. Can't do
Doctor,
it.
I
I have ethical limits on what I can tell you. Now,
Why can't you
well,
tell
Helen,
me
now,
about
Helen,
this?
how about you
Please.
just shut up for a minute?
I'm making way too much money for you to talk to me like this.
Now, Helen, what I was trying to say was that it is not actually that common. Well, it's actually rather common for a young man in our society to have a subconscious desire to sleep with his mother.
She's old enough to be my mother.
That's not quite so common.
Hello, Helen. Countess, what good news? I hadn't really had no idea that Harold was the marrying kind, and royalty to top it off. I have to agree. Normally I have nothing against traditional marriage, but this doesn't sound at all traditional. He'll love the military life. I'll tell him his Uncle Sam needs him. I'll tell him about his grandfather who was a hero in WW2. You know, Helen, the ballpoint pen was invented in World War II, and napalm in Vietnam, and smart bombs in Afghanistan. And as far as those mock suicides of his, you just let him know that the national suicide rate drops during time of war. This is going to be wonderful. Hello? 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 Damn cell phones.
It's night. Maud is opening the front door of her house and giggling to Harold. He's decorated the entire place with thousands upon thousands of twinkling lights.
Harold, can I come in now?
Yes, but keep your eyes closed.
This is so much fun. I can't see a thing. Here I come.
Careful you don't trip.
Oh, what am I going to trip over? There's nothing here. What have you been doing since I've been gone?
Ta-da! Open your eyes.
Harold, this is so dazzling. Oh, when did you find the time?
Well, it took a little longer than expected. I was hoping that we could make it for dinner, but it looks like it'll be more like late supper. I had a busy day.
You know, I had a busy day too. I never did get rid of all my things. You'll have to do that for me tomorrow.
Well, I have another surprise for you tonight that I hope will take care of tomorrow.
Another surprise. I love surprises. They make me feel so chiffon. Oh, Harold. Sunflowers. Where did you find them?
Well, I made these two.
Oh, they're beautiful.
But Mom, here's a real flower. From me to you. An individual. Remember?
I do. I do.
And now, it suits the occasion.
Champagne.
It's all right.
Oh, Harold.
It's all right. It's organic.
Oh.
I guess I'll make a toast.
Yes, you proposed the toast.
To you, Maud. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
It's a perfect birthday toast. I think you're going to be a poet.
It's you who should have been the poet, Mom.
Me? Oh, no.
Yes.
I think I should have been an astronaut.
A what?
An astronaut. You know, exploring space, exploring the unknown. Wouldn't it be funny if I ended up where I began? Oh, Harold, that reminds me, I have something for you. It's a token of my affection. It was Frederick's.
Wait, you're giving this to me?
Yes.
No, I can't take this from you.
Harold.
No, Maud. Really, I can't. But here. Open this.
Another surprise. Harold, you shouldn't have.
It's a ring.
Oh my goodness, it's beautiful.
It's not very expensive, but Maud, I hope it will make you very happy.
It has made me happy, Harold, ecstatically happy. Oh. It's like 100 fireworks have gone off in my room.
I hope you like it, Maud.
I do. I do like it very much. You know, Harold, I'm going to be going pretty soon. Today's my 80th birthday.
Where are you going?
Well, I thought about a lot of things, and I decided that I was going to pick the date when I decided to go.
What are you talking about, Mom?
Well, Harold, I took the pills.
What? All of them?
Well, yes, dear, all of them.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Mom, quick, where's your phone?
I don't have a phone, Harold. I'm a squatter.
Not even a cell phone?
No, I don't like cell phones, Harold. They're too invasive, they're impersonal, and technology is just not what it's cut out to be.
Okay. You sit here, and I'll go get some help, okay? You just rest.
Harold,
Rest, no.
don't make such a fuss about it. It's okay. Don't make such a fuss. Come on. Give me a smile,
No,
Harold.
Mom, please don't die. Please, don't die.
Harold, we all die. As soon as we're born, we begin to die. You know, it's all part of life. It's change. There's nothing to worry about. It's all change.
I don't understand, Mom. I love you. I've never said that to anyone in my entire life before. You're the first, Maud. I love you.
Too, Harold. This too shall pass.
No. Never. I'll never forget about you. I was going to marry you, Maud. I had the ring. I was going to propose tonight.
Harold, it was a lovely party. I enjoyed it very much. Thank you for everything. You know it's a big step to take, but you have to have faith. You have to have faith. Oh, I feel so giddy right now.
Maud, stay with me, please.
Oh, Harold.
I love you. I love you.
Harold, just don't upset yourself so.
Maud, I love you so much. You don't understand, Maud.
Farewell, Harold. Oh, Harold, I love you too. And now that you know what love is, go and love some more.
Maud!
That night, Harold drove Maud to the hospital in his hybrid hearse Jaguar. He carried Maud into the hospital emergency room and was asked to wait in the lobby, which seemed like an eternity. Maud was gone, and a new day had arrived. Harold awoke in the same place where Maud had passed. Perhaps it was all a dream, or maybe it's life around us that's all a dream. But the message was clear. In the Book of Memories, everyone has their own point of view, especially Maud. You see this guy's in love with you. Yes, I'm in love. Who looks at you the way I do? When you smile, I can tell we know each other very well. And how can I show you that I'm glad I got to know you? 'Cause I've heard some talk.
They say you think I'm fine. Yes, I'm in love. And what I do to make you mine, tell me now, is it so? Don't let me be the last to know. I am shaking, and my heart keeps breaking 'cause I need your love. I want your love. Say you're in love with this guy.
If not, I'll just die.